How to deal with difficult relatives. You can't choose your family, which means you might be saddled with difficult family members whom you have no choice but to deal with. If so, you'll want to know how to interact with them and not drive yourself crazy in the process. Deal with your difficult relatives by staying calm and being assertive. Then, follow strategies to make interactions with them more pleasant. Also, it can help to distance yourself from them when it's necessary to save your sanity. Working around difficulties. 1. Remain calm. Relatives can have a special skill for getting under your skin. However, if you allow that, you just might explode and make things worse. Get your emotions under control when difficulties arise. Learn how to recognize when you are becoming angry or impatient. When you are triggered, step away to get some fresh air, count to 100, or practice deep breathing. 2. Be assertive by using I statements. If you have a run-in with a difficult family member, practice assertiveness to avoid being railroaded. Say what you have to say in as few words as possible. Use I statements that allow you to take ownership of your feelings and ask for what you need without causing defensiveness in the other person. For example, you might say, "I don't appreciate when you speak for me. Could you please let me answer the questions myself?" 3. Resist the guilt trip. Guilt tripping is often employed by difficult family members. Trying to sway your decisions by making you feel guilty is a form of emotional abuse. You don't have to play into the trap. 4. Listen to what they have to say. Have you listened, really listened, to what your difficult family member has to say? Sometimes, all people want is to be heard. Plus, there's a chance some part of what the person is saying is true. Actively listening to what they are saying may help them feel acknowledged and may enable you to work through a misunderstanding. 5. Give them complete freedom in one area. Some relatives will complicate the situation because they desperately want to feel involved. Allow your difficult family member to have a job in which they have complete control. Giving them a purpose may keep them busy and out of your hair. Improving interactions with them. 1. Stop trying to change them. It's a hard reality, but you're going to have to gain acceptance about your difficult relative. This means letting go of the fantasy that someday they will show up and be a total breeze to deal with. 2. Search for their positive qualities. Difficult relatives get a bad rap. They show up and everyone starts moaning and groaning about their negative traits. If you focus solely on the bad qualities, you'll miss out on the good. Even the worst family members have a good side. Try to find it. 3. Plan to have a pleasant interaction. You can change the way you interact with a difficult relative by setting an intention. Before you're due to see them, tell yourself that you will commit to an easy, pleasant interaction. By doing so, your brain just may think of ways to actually make that happen. 4. Practice self-care beforehand. Difficult family members can be incredibly draining. They may require so much of your energy that you have little left over to care for yourself. Counteract that problem by addressing your needs prior to interacting with them. Getting some distance. 1. Enforce your boundaries. When push comes to shove, you need to look out for yourself. If a difficult relative becomes too much to handle, enforce your personal boundaries. Boundaries are the limitations you set with others to protect your own health and well-being. Let your relative know that they are violating these boundaries and that you need space. 2. Stand up for yourself. If your difficult relatives continue to violate your boundaries, you will need to assert yourself. Depending on your boundaries, you might decide to finally speak up for yourself and verbalize your limitations to a difficult family member. 3. Take a break from spending time with family. If your relatives are getting under your skin, you might decide to take a few days away to clear your head. This is perfectly acceptable if it's what you need to do to manage stress or minimize conflict. 4. Get some allies within the family. If you feel alone in coping with a difficult relative, it may help to reach out to others in the family. By forming alliances, you can bounce ideas off one another and come up with more effective ways of dealing with the difficulties. Plus, if someone else understands how you're feeling, you won't feel alone. For instance, talk to your sibling by saying, "I'm going to need some support in dealing with cousin Harriet this weekend. Do you mind serving as my backup?" 5. Lean on outsiders for support. No one can understand the dysfunction within a family like its members. Sometimes it helps to go outside the family to vent your frustrations or simply take your mind off things, however. People outside the family may also be more objective about the situation. Lean on your closest friends when you need to decompress. 6. Cut ties, if you need to. If difficult family members threaten your mental health and well-being, you might have no choice but to cut contact with them altogether. Spending too much time worrying about your family members or trying to fix their problems can consume your life.